So my father was an alcoholic drug addict, and I have 2 older sisters. So my mom, when I was 4, decided to leave. And she packed everything she could in a suitcase and left. We never went back. And we lived in motels, lived in poor neighborhoods, but she struggled to provide for us. My childhood was hard because I was made fun of a lot in school. And I didn't have that many friends. When you're told every day that bad things about you, it's hard to feel that you have any self-worth or that you're even important. When I became 14 is when I discovered drugs. And I started weed, alcohol, and methamphetamine. And I was in heaven. It took everything away. All that pain and everything that I had felt was gone. I also got in trouble with the law. So I went to juvenile hall. And when I was 16, I met Justin. And I thought he was the world. I dropped out of high school because I wanted to spend all day with him, every day. I didn't think my education was important. So at 18, I got pregnant for the first time, and I had an abortion. I think my whole reasoning to have the abortion was I was so afraid that I would disappoint my mom. What was my mom going to think? She was just going to be upset with me. So I finally told her, and I made that decision only because I didn't want to let her down. 4 months later, I ended up pregnant again. And I completely ignored it. I just thought, how could this happen? You know, I had no idea about sex. I had no idea about protection. All I knew was that I'm pregnant again, and what am I going to do? I stopped meth while I was pregnant with Kylie, but I continued to smoke weed. I didn't see anything wrong with it. I had her. 2 weeks after I had her, I started methamphetamine again. Basically, Kylie became my mom's responsibility. I was never home. I started hanging out with the wrong crowd. At 19, I was in and out of jail again. I got drug programs. And I was more lost than I had ever felt in my life. At 24, Justin, he eventually left me after 9 years. And I felt like I went crazy. You know, I thought even though the relationship was a disaster, it was physically abusive, it was verbally abusive, emotionally, anything and everything was wrong with that relationship. But in my mind, I felt like I created this perfect family, and I wanted it to be perfect, but it wasn't, and it was gone. A year after we broke up, I got pregnant with Alex. And part of me, I think, thought that he would come back, like my family would be back. But that wasn't the case. So I was pregnant on methamphetamine, and I was using a lot. I failed at my first daughter, and I wanted to take care of her. But I had no money. I moved out of my mom's house when Alex was a month old. into a house that some big guy in prison was paying for. I had no food for her. I remember having my friends steal formula so I could feed her. I had no diapers, and I would use towels. My resources on how I could get help or who could help me, I didn't know any of that. I didn't know any of that. My life was drugs, the streets, and that was it. I finally went to prison. I got out, and I met a man, got pregnant. Well, I went back to jail. I was sitting in county, and I was laying there, and I was thinking I needed to change my life. And I tried everything. I tried drug programs, everything, and the one thing that was missing was God. And I knew that He was the only one that was going to save me. So I read the Bible every day, and I knew I had to get a relationship with Him. And I went to a class at the jail, and she mentioned programs, and I was like, well, how are you going to help me? And I'm pregnant. And they mentioned Casa Teresa. And I wrote Casa. When I came in for the interview at Casa Teresa, I was in boxer shorts and a sweatshirt, 7 months pregnant, on probation. I had no tools. I was lost. I was homeless. And I was scared. And they just let me in with open arms. And they gave me a place to live. They gave me guidance and structure. They just taught me so much. Just, the house mom, Julie, she was just there for us, just guiding us and giving us advice. And I remember when I first learned, that I'm a child of Christ, and that, I thought I was supposed to be perfect and be this perfect person. And I just went through this meltdown. Like, that's not what it's about, It's in time God reveals things to us, and when we're ready to deal with them. And I've gone through every feeling and emotion and times that I hated, but I got through them. And a lot of times when it was hard to ask for help, or that I need diapers, or that I need wet wipes, or because I was embarrassed, but they made me realize that they're here because they want to help, and that these things are given to Casa Teresa for us, and for me, and for my children. And I think realizing that they want that for us. It was hard, but, I just learned there are people that want to help. I just want to thank Casa Teresa and everybody that's donated, that has been behind the scenes, that we don't know about. And you've been a part of changing my life and changing my children's life. And there's not any words that I could even describe the feeling that I feel and the love that I have for Casa Teresa and everything that they're about. And I will forever be grateful that they've been that stepping stone to put me on my way to be a successful parent, a single mom. So, thank you.
I love you very much. I miss you.